Greetings everybody, it's your boy Sanjeev again from CollectionDX, bringing you a video review of Aoshima's Gotengo. This is a 350th scale die-cast model of the ship known in English-speaking countries as the Atragon, from the movie called Atragon, but it's actually called the Gotengo if you watch the original Japanese version. Just doing a quick pan over of this toy, which I am absolutely in love with, and I'm going to get into the details of it in a little bit. But I wanted to show it to you in these kotobukiya mechanical chain bases. We love these over at CDX because they make great backdrops for these photographs and video reviews. But as you can tell, it works out pretty well with this particular model because it really looks like the docking hangar for this particular ship. Pretty lovely if you ask me. The hull is pretty much entirely die-cast. This is the special edition version that features a little bit of airbrushing, as you can sort of see in the panel lines right here. Right now, there are lights that are on. You might be wondering about that. The toy actually features built-in LEDs, bright as all hell. They're fantastic. They run along the underneath the keel of the ship and right in the back. They basically signify the thrusters. It's pretty great. And there's also a feature that makes the drill in front of the ship rotate. And I'll show you that in just a bit. But overall, I'm very pleased with this item, and I'll tell you more about it in just a minute as I get set up for my next shot. And here we have a better shot of the bow of the ship. As you can see, it's got this crazy-ass drill right in front with the zero cannon. That's that little forky-looking thing in the very front. If you remember the movie, is a big favorite of mine growing up. It featured Toho-style tokusatsu. It was a Toho film. And if you're familiar with the Godzilla movies from the 60s, it had about that level of quality. The special effects weren't the greatest for Toho at the time. I think the movie was from 1963. The movie was basically about this battleship slash submarine that could fly as well as go on the water and actually underneath the water as well. It was just a really fun movie. It was interesting because a lot of people I know, a lot of fans these days are big fans of Leiji Matsumoto's space battleship Yamato. Here in the States it was called Star Blazers, of course. I remember that show growing up. I absolutely hated it. To me, it was completely boring, way too serious. I mean, why watch that when you had Voltron? I mean, Voltron was just fun. I mean, big robot kicking the crap out of, you know, these road beasts every week. I mean, what's not to love about that? And why would I want to spend all this time watching something as gloomy as Star Blazers? So I never got into the design of the Yamato and the wave motion gun and all that stuff, and all these guys dying all over the place and the super serious tone of the show and everything. But I was really into tokusatsu. I was a huge Godzilla nut as a kid. My dad and I would get up on Saturday morning, and in the Boston area in the mid-'80s, they had Creature Double Feature, which we of course watched, and we saw plenty of Godzilla movies, stuff like Daimajin, Atragon, of course, all these sorts of monster movies that absolutely blew my mind. Yeah, it was kind of serious, this particular movie, but I mean, they're also kind of silly. I mean, this civilization, this ancient civilization, kind of like Atlantis, called the Mu civilization, threatens the surface world with earthquakes and some giant ship that has a ray gun on it and all types of weird stuff like that. So, of course, the Japanese have the answer. They have this battleship that's ready to roll, and basically kick the crap out of this civilization. This ship known as the Gotengo, again known as the Atragon in English. But it was just really fun. I mean, the movie was a blast. It has a slightly serious tone because the captain of the ship, Captain Jinguji, was a veteran of the Pacific War, and it's got that whole flavor of, you know, we never should have given up in the Pacific War, and he's a veteran and he thinks Japan lost face by giving up to the U.S. So it's got a kind of interesting historical tone to it. And at first, the captain doesn't want to launch the Gotengo. He says basically, let the world perish. He built this ship only to defend Japan. Why do we want to, defend the rest of the world? But eventually, his daughter gets kidnapped, and he decides, hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't be such a jerk. And he sends out the ship, and they save the day. But not before encountering a kaiju, which I thought was great. It's Toho. They gotta, get their monster fix in there. This movie, Atragon, is not only the first appearance of the ship known as the Atragon or the Gotengo, but it's also the first movie featuring Manda, the giant Asian-style serpent. Kind of like one of those long serpentine dragons. And he's kind of a fan favorite. Shows up in a lot of movies, including Destroy All Monsters and Godzilla Final Wars. So I just showed off a lot of how this guy looks, but let's actually take a look at what this thing does. So it's a pretty cool model. Again, it's almost all die-cast metal. This hull, Aoshima pulled out all the stops. This thing is heavy. If someone's breaking into your house, don't hesitate to pick this thing up and skewer the guy, because it's going to cause some damage. This thing weighs a lot. I haven't weighed it myself, but it's definitely got some heft to it. Basically, the ship doesn't do a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the lights are great. They're obviously turned on at the moment. Show you a better shot of them. They're bright as all hell. It's fantastic. I love these things. Let me rotate it around so you can see the thrusters again. Yeah, that's pretty bright. So what this ship can do, now I don't actually remember this scene in the movie, but I just basically remember in the movie this ship burrowing through mountains to get out of, when it very first launches from its underground base. They basically punch through the rock in this little, aquatic cave where the thing's being built. And I don't remember it doing anything special. I should probably watch the DVD again. It is available commercially, so you can pick that up. But what this toy does, it actually sort of buttons up into this mode where it's much more realistic in terms of if something like this had to burrow through some rock. Basically, these wings fold in. These buzzsaws sort of go in a little bit here to become more streamlined. The cannon here, all of these little cannon emplacements, they can rotate. They can elevate. Pretty nice, good quality. Again, this is an adult collectible, not really a toy for kids, so they're not super durable. I'm not afraid that they're going to break at all, but you can tell that they're a little flimsy. You don't want to be too crazy with them. There's a little bit of give to the plastic, but I'd be a little ginger. I mean, this thing's going to run you close to $200 US if you're going to pick it up. So you definitely want to protect that type of investment and not, actually throw this thing at an intruder. So anyway, back to the transformation here. You sort of straighten out all the cannons so they're out of the way. You take a look at the bridge section. These little wingy doodles, I'm sure there's a nautical term for them, they fold up. And this entire assembly is actually spring-loaded. Push that sucker down. And notice when you push it down, these antennae go down with it, which I think is great. And once it gets down there, you kind of fiddle with it, and it clicks into place like that. Then, you see this little tiny button in here? That switch, when I push it to the aft of the model, it pops the entire assembly up again. But we're actually going to flip it around. There's another button opposite it, which you can see right here. Now if I actually push that forward, it reveals this little panel here. Now you just pull out this panel, and boom, you have a cover for that entire cavity that houses the bridge section. Pretty great. And lastly, moving to the stern of the ship, you got these little wing guys, and you just push them in. They're all geared so they all go in at once. And basically that's all you do. There you have it. You have the transformed Gotengo basically in borrowing mode. Looks pretty good. It looks very realistic in this mode. Again, I don't remember them actually doing this in the movie, but hey, I'm not complaining. The toy does something. I'm not gonna complain about it having gimmicks that I don't necessarily want. And again, you got the lights here. The lights are activated by this little switch on the bottom. Turning them off. Takes 2 AAA batteries. Thanks to Josh B for lending me those batteries for this review. And now there's one more thing. There's another switch here which I want to show you. It activates the drill. Check that out. It's pretty cool. It's a little bit noisy, I'll give you that, but this is pretty damn cool. Not only does the drill rotate, but the little zero cannon fork thingy actually kind of pulses out in a rather phallic sort of way. Well, let's not get into the psyche of Japanese science fiction writers, shall we? Let's just call it a damn cool gimmick and leave it at that. So that's pretty much it for the Gotengo. It's got fairly limited gimmicks. It has the rotating drill, which is a must for a ship like this. I mean, it's its main feature. It obviously buttons up into this drilling sort of mode. It's heavy as all hell. It looks cool. If you're a fan of the ship or the movie, you basically need this. It's one of the few toys of this out there other than a few vinyls. Granted, the vinyls are pretty cool. Let me turn this off. There's a recent vinyl that M1 Go put out of the Gotengo, and there's actually a matching manda to go with it, which is a fantastic piece, but it'll run you about maybe $70 US, something like that, to get one on the aftermarket. It's a good piece, and if you're into vinyl, you should pick it up. But again, it's just vinyl. I mean, it's not going to have the features this guy has. This thing is obviously die cast. It's huge. It's got lovely airbrush details, the panel lines. You know, just look at the hull with the, you know, the windows here. And I mean, it just looks good, and it's just a quality piece. Vinyl's okay, you know, add it to your collection by all means. But, you know, it just can't, it just doesn't compare to a toy like this. So let me get back into ship mode here. You basically just pull the saws out. Make sure they're completely out. And there's a little nub here to get the little wings out. My only gripe about it is there's no there's no way to sort of snap the wings into position. They're just kind of held there by, well, wishful thinking. There we go. See, this one's really loose. There's nothing holding that out. But not too shabby, just a minor complaint. The panel you just push down slightly and then slide it to the rear. All the way back. And that button I was telling you about, trip that and the whole assembly pops back up. Just straighten that guy out, pull the antenna all the way up, and get these little wings on the bridge section down, and you can repose your cannons. And lastly, the wings on the stern, the aft section, and you're pretty much good to go. Like I said, it's a great looking piece, as you can tell. Heavy quality. I mean, Aoshima did right here. If you're a fan of die cast at all, you should pick it up. If you're a fan of science fiction, you should pick it up. Well, I should probably qualify that statement. Not everyone's going to want this. Again, it costs around $200 US, and with the economy the way it is, you might want to rethink your spending. But again, if you are a fan, you kind of need this in your collection. It's just beautiful. I mean, from bow to stern, I mean, it is a great looking ship. Yeah, there's really not much more I can say about it. It's a good looking piece that that just it has all the quality of any of your modern Chogokin toys from Bandai. Granted, again, it's not a kid's toy by any means, but when I first cracked this thing open for my package from Hobby Link Japan, it was just, I was just awe-inspired. It's my first time getting a toy anything like this. And of course, the rumor mill is at full work. If Aoshima comes up with quality like this, and they've already made Queen Esmeralda's ship. I forget what it's called at the moment, but the thing that looks like a blimp. And it's got the same level of quality, same airbrush details, die-cast hull, running lights all over it with high-quality, bright LEDs. So it's basically the same as this. You know, it's the equivalent of this for a Leiji Matsumoto ship. Well, if Aoshima does something like that, and we've got a piece like this that's already out, well, there may be a space battleship Yamato on the horizon. And I know people are waiting for that because a lot of people weren't terribly happy with with Bandai's Soul of Popanica. That thing was extremely fiddly. It had a lot of bits hanging off all over the place. A lot of the details broke easily. It was just bad news. I barely got a chance to handle one once, And again, I'm not a Star Blazers or Space Battleship Yamato fan at all, so I wasn't planning on getting one, but even I felt a little sorry for some of the fans. Now, if Aoshima comes up with their own Yamato with this level of quality, well, you guys are in for a treat. So that's it for now. Come to CollectionDX.com, of course, for more photographs and complete write-up of this toy, as well as getting your fix for Japanese robot and monster toy news and all the latest toy reviews. And have a good one.